Okay, we're going to start today. This stuff over here. Just a second, chat. I am getting ready for the day. Dashboard. All right. What is this? Is that my bit rate? Terrible. Okay. So, what we're going to do first is before anything, we need to cover some things. And window capture. Some things people may not be aware of. Star Citizen wise. I don't know if anyone's covered this just yet. Welcome, chat, to day, whatever this is, 7 and 8 of Invictus. This is Anvil Day. Got some bad news if you are a standard Anvil Hornet collector or purchaser. Don't be melting it anymore because it's being sent into the great graveyard beyond. I'll be making a video of this short of this later, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. I didn't even expect them to retire the Hornet like right now, but I knew it was probably coming, you know, at some point. It's just a matter of when, unfortunately. Just a second. What is the end? So, anyways, let's begin. So they're basically phasing out the Anvil Hornet series Mark 1s. Very controversial. A lot of people love these ships. Mainly the combat ones, especially. Not sure how I feel about this because they were one of the first, mainline ships in Star Citizen. In fact, I think they were one of the first concepts, but they did talk about eventually retiring it at some point. Yeah. So the entire line of Mark 1 Hornets are being retired. It's crazy to me. Just absolutely insanity. So they're retiring not only the original Mark 1 Hornet, they're also retiring the F7A Mark 1, the Super Hornet, the Hornet Tracker, and the Hornet Ghost, and all their other derivatives and variants. That being said, even though the Mark II is taking over, they have confirmed that the Mark II will be getting editions of the Super Hornet, Ghost, and Tracker. So these will also be getting their own variations. So that's good. So we're going to be getting a Hornet Tracker Mark II, as well as a Super Hornet and Ghost. I'm wondering if we're going to get a Hornet Wildfire Mark II as well. But we don't know at this point. It's really up in the air. Let's visit Spectrum, see what they're saying. Okay. Yeah, here's the Q&A. Will the Hornet Mark 1s get their gold pass and bug fixes? Yes, they will. Will Mark 1 still be earnable in game? They will stop being available for pledge and purchase in rentals. However, there will be ways to earn them in the future, though we're not quite ready to share those plans. Will Mark 1 Hornet's bespoke mounts still be earnable with limited supply and reduced supply? Will there be a Mark 1? Seriously? A Mark 1 to correspond to each Mark 1 variant. Each Mark 1 variant will have a Mark 2. Stay tuned. What will we have in game to allow Mark 1s to get a free Mark 2 upgrade? How will the sunset affect Mark 1? Okay. Yes, you'll be able to buy your pledge back. Okay. A lot of people don't like this. A lot of people don't like this. But, you know, they did talk about it years and years ago. Oh, look at all this. Look at all these people cry booing about this. Okay, I get it. I get you're mad, but, you know, honestly, CIG gonna CIG, guys. Sorry. It's kind of par for the course at this point, you know. I'm not saying it's right, but people are going to do what they're going to do. Doesn't mean it's right. I'm just saying. Either way. Yeah, and I'm sorry, there's a guy lawn mowing outside, so. Anyways, before we jump into Anvil Day full head on, we definitely need to look at ISC, which, ignore that junk. Let's see. Subscriptions. Where is it? There it is. Cargo carrier. Yes, Brian. Brian, you were absolutely right. And it's a pretty ship. I like it. It's a cargo ship. It's big and it's pretty. I like it. She's a pretty beauty. Yes. By the way, Brian, what do you think about the Mark 1s being retired? Chris Roberts himself, literally years ago, said something about retiring the original Mark 1 Hornets as collector items. It's been said for years, you know, many, many years. I guess people just assumed it would never happen. You know, I know it's a shock, but when it happens, you know. And yeah, maybe marketing, but I definitely recall him saying something about retiring the Mark 1.
This launch week coverage as we look beyond the event to the new offering
Anyways, here we go.
This year's Drake Defense Con,
Jared.
the far superior brand excluded from the usual Invictus festivities because it's too damn cool. I said it, and I'm tired of pretending it's not true. Drake for life.
These sentiments were recorded in April before that rap beef stuff, and Disco would like it known that K. is king. Hashtag Westside. Also, that David is the best. Woohoo! Now we resume the program.
Let's force John Crew to talk about it now.
So in the Star Citizen universe, we have a lot of cargo ships, but they're sort of concentrated around the lower end of cargo hauling, sort of the low hundreds, SU and below, and the very high end where there's multi-thousands. There's a mix of cargo ships which have their cargo on the inside, ones on the outside like the Hull series, and we really wanted to bring something different where it's sort of sits right in the middle. It's a nice progression step and facilitates both internal and external loading of cargo, which is where the Drake Ironclad comes in.
How big and how expensive do you think this ship will be, chat? My guess is 550 and up. I think that's going to be the minimum price. I think it's going to be minimum of 600 to 550 ship. It's probably pretty big.
So the Drake Ironclad is the kind of next step up for Drake cargo ships. It kind of builds on what the Caterpillar brings, but in a much larger form.
The Drake Ironclad is a 6-person, multi-crew armoured freighter. A large proportion of the ship is dedicated to the cargo bay at the front of it, which has both a front ramp for loading and unloading cargo and small vehicles on the ground, as well as a retractable roof for doing that in space with EVA as well.
Little tight entrances to cargo ships doesn't necessarily lend itself to when you're out in deep space and you're trying to quickly move some cargo from one person's ship into your ship. Really, you want as much kind of access to be able to do that as you possibly can. So by having this kind of much larger opening on top of the ship, it allows us to kind of bring cargo in much easier.
So its role being a sort of armoured freighter comes from 2 distinct ways. One, the cargo itself is more protected. It's within the cargo bay that has the armoured roof section that covers it. So unlike, say, a Hull C where the cargo's on the outside, you can load it from the outside but then protect it with the Ironclad.
It's also more heavily armoured than the Caterpillar, so it kind of gives a little bit more security to your kind of precious cargo.
The exterior is very classic Drake brutish styling, a whole lot of engines and a lot of framework and quite thin structural elements support the rest of the ship. Very bare bones styling. It doesn't have lots of nice padding. It's all there and exposed, and it's really just sort of rugged and to the point. So the Ironclad is really 3 distinct areas. You have all the accommodation in the rear sort of third of the ship. The front 2/3 is really just this cargo bay with the front entrance and the retractable roof. And then you have the command module, which has seats for the crew, plus a few little jump seats for everyone else. Command module is there to steer the ship when it's attached, and the command module serves as the escape pod as well. The only time you really want to detach it is in an emergency. It's not designed to be your sort of primary ship flying around.
It kind of gives you a little bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card. If you're transporting stuff that is quite valuable, quite sought after in maybe some of our less desirable systems, what it allows you to do is kind of have a little bit of security. So if you're getting attacked or you're getting yourself into trouble, if you want to save yourself, you can kind of jettison your cargo and try and get out of Dodge and kind of get out to safety. And I think that's like a really important thing as we get closer to Death of a Spaceman.
With some of the recent tech that's come online, this brought us one step closer to implementing command modules properly. So not only will you see this detachable command module feature on the Ironclad, but as well it will happen on the Caterpillar.
Interior-wise, you've kind of got 2 entrances onto the ship. You can either enter via the command module, and that takes you straight into a kind of corridor section. It's kind of like, almost like a mezzanine. You can either go up to the habitation area, which is top floor of the ship, gives you like super nice views out both the kind of cargo out the front and the rear of the ship, or you can kind of come down the ship into the main habitation area. Alternatively, you can enter through the dock and collar airlock, which is on the opposite side of the ship. At the rear of the interior of the ship, we've kind of got the heart of the engines. It's the big kind of engineering area where we've got all of the kind of main functional components needed for moving such a large ship. And then if you kind of come slightly further forward, got we call it the kind of like the command deck. It's not a bridge, you can't fly the ship from it, but it's where you operate the tractor beams. It's where it kind of gives you good views out over the front and into space. You've got the tractor beam turrets, but also, visually you can kind of stand in this area or sit in this area and look out over the front and over the bow of the ship and kind of really see what you're trying to pull in or what you're trying to capture into your cargo hold. As we come downstairs, we've got a little kind of covered area at the rear of the cargo hold, and that is where you can store a couple of small ground vehicles or some of your equipment for moving vehicles and cargo around. And then you're into the main cargo hold of the ship, and this takes up the majority of the interior space, is this large cargo hold. One of the things that we were kind of really keen to do was give lots of different views and different angles down into this cargo hold. Again, as we're exploring slightly less lawful systems, we wanted to give the players as much opportunities as we can to kind of be safe aboard their own ship.
I'm completely okay with that, Brian. This right here makes the Kraken so much easier to work on. You know what I mean? The Kraken will be heavily derived from parts of this ship, among others. And John Crew says it himself. This will make the Kraken much easier to make. So I'm for it. You know, I am all for this big ship making it into the game. And it'll make so much easier to develop, you know. Yeah, I mean, and it gets something else off the backlog. Something off the backlog, which everybody wins. Everybody wins when a massive ship gets off the backlog. Same with the Polaris, same with the Idris, you know, the big ships, the Crucible. Nobody's talking about that yet. It will be another ship. They're going to be working on the Polaris, the Galaxy, the Apollo series, the Perseus, all those big ships. Yeah, they're definitely going to benefit from all of this, you know. Speaking of the Perseus, Brian, do you think the Perseus would get a little bigger? The Polaris did, but I'm not thinking the Perseus will get much bigger. You know what I mean? Maybe 5 or 10 meters, but not huge, right? You get what I'm saying? Like maybe 5, 10, maybe 15 meters, maybe, but it'll still be under 110 to under 120 meters. It'll be a short, long, it'll be a long, skinny ship, but it'll still be short. You get what I'm saying? I don't think it'll get much bigger. Yeah. I agree with that. Yep. I don't think the Orion will be, but the Arastra will. There'll be obviously a mining or a medium and large salvager between the Reclaimer and Vulture. And what else am I trying to say? Ground vehicle wise, yeah, there's some interesting possibilities, but let's keep going, shall we?
So either side of the cargo hold, we've got these gantries that run completely front to rear on the ship, and they give great view down into your cargo bay. They also give that opportunity of if there's someone tries to board you via the cargo bay, it gives you some nice cover opportunities. And we've also got a few little windows that kind of look down into it as well. As you move to the kind of like the very front, the very nose of the ship, those gantries lead into a kind of secure cargo area. It's somewhere that's a little bit more difficult to get to when you kind of enter the ship. The big thing we were referencing when we were looking at it was this idea of police evidence rooms. And so these kind of individual cages where you could put your most secure cargo, whatever it might be, in this area, and it would make it quite difficult to try and breach in or out of that area. So it gives us just somewhere a little bit more secure for kind of smaller cargo items. Finally, at the very front, we've got access to one of the main turrets and the tractor beam turret.
The biggest attraction for me with it is just the versatility of the cargo space. From a good citizen law standpoint, it is a cargo ship, but also that retractable roof and the tractor beams on board it give it some less legal opportunities for perhaps taking other people's cargo ships in space and on the ground. At the time of recording, we're also exploring a more military-themed variant of the Ironclad. It doesn't have the name yet, so we'll just call it the Drake.
Ironclad Assault.
Compared to the base ship, this has been developed to support ground assault operations. It has additional turrets covering the upper and lower surfaces to provide more fire support. And the front section of the cargo area has been redesigned to enable our largest vehicles in-game to be deployed from it, such as the tank. In addition, the cargo bay has been reduced in size to facilitate an onboard repair facility. So for those of you who want to have a journey in the cargo profession, traditionally you would start out in something, say like a Hull A. The next step up from there really is sort of into Drake Caterpillar territory. So you're doing roughly a 8 to 10 times jump in cargo capacity. From there, the Ironclad sits nicely between those smaller ships and the much larger bulk carriers such as the Hull C, and then ultimately you get to things like the Hull D, E, and Kraken at the end of the cargo career.
You said Kraken.
Yes.
Was that a hint at anything?
It's not a hint at anything, but making the Ironclad makes the Kraken easier.
So building out the Ironclad does, of course, kind of help us with building out the Kraken. I think increasing that visual library of assets that we can pull from and use in a Drake manufacturer at the right scale is super valuable for when we move on to the larger ships.
Of course, in non-Drake-related news, players in this year's event probably noticed the long-awaited RSI Polaris touring around the Stanton system. Well, it's not quite flight-ready yet, but we thought we'd ask the guys for a status update all the same and see if we can't get a closer look at the progress being made while we do it.
We really wanted to have some form of the exterior of the Polaris at Invictus launch week.
We wanted to mix up the capital ships on display this year.
Being a big kind of military show, it made perfect sense to be able to kind of show it off in its best light. We've pushed quite hard to get the exterior to a point where we're happy to show it publicly.
This meant we've prioritized doing the exterior over the interior. So the exterior you see is pretty much final art. All it is missing is really the damage setup, as I'm sure people have tried to do. It is currently invulnerable, or hopefully invulnerable in game.
Visually, I think not only have we been trying to get it out so we can show it, but we've also tried to kind of really push the quality of the exteriors of some of our kind of like large capital ships. And what that has meant is that we needed to focus a few more artists than what we'd normally put on the exterior of a ship, just to make sure we kind of hit that quality bar and we hit it on time. It's pretty close to being Lot Zero, which means that the majority of the main modeling's done. There's still a whole bunch of decal work. The finer details, what we call as POM details, pass needs to be done, and that really kind of helps to elevate the kind of like the close read. I think the distance read and the mid reads are like brilliant, and to be fair, the close read when you get up in personal is looking really, really good. It's just we've still got that kind of like final sprinkle of polish to go on.
With the focus on the exterior and pushing that as far as we could in the time we had, the interior is not quite as far along. It is more around the grey box stage, but the people we'd put on the exterior now will be moving on to the interior.
Normally on a vehicle, as we try to kind of keep the development stages in line throughout the kind of like the life cycle of its development, it means that the interior isn't,
There's the medical area. It's in grey box.
It's not at the same level that the exterior is.
We've been focusing on the core traversal areas of the ship.
The majority of the rooms have now been worked up. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 rooms that are still in white box that still need, a decent amount of kind of modelling and work doing to them. But the rest of the rooms now are kind of getting to the point where we're pretty close to grey box.
So the bridge, the main corridors, the hab area, the cargo bay, torpedo rooms, and all the turrets. So these are a bit further along than some of the more secondary rooms like the brig and the medical bay.
When you think of the Polaris, like its key points are the torpedoes. And I think that's been an area that has needed quite a lot of iteration on, and we're not quite there yet. One of the things that we're kind of really trying to make sure feels good from a player's point of view is the kind of like the loading of the torpedoes and seeing them kind of be from in your cargo hold to being in the kind of like loading mechanism and then being ready to fire. So on the kind of like lower deck and front half of the vehicle, we've got these.
Look at these things. These are as big as an Aurora. They're huge.
Big torpedo loaders, and that's an area that it's needed quite a lot of iteration to make sure it feels right, and we are still in that process. It's not kind of fully signed off. We're not completely happy with that area, but it certainly kind of makes up the heart of the ship. Otherwise, on the interior, the main upper deck is kind of really starting to come on. The engineering section is another kind of area that I think is really important in our capital ships and kind of getting to a level that we're happy with. From the kind of concept into production, we have opened up the bridge of the ship a little bit. One of the things we wanted to do was when you kind of enter onto the bridge, this should feel kind of like super exciting and super rewarding to the player. If they've managed to kind of get one of these ships, you want it to feel like they are kind of really living that kind of military life dream. So we've spent a bit of time kind of opening it up, giving some nicer views as you kind of enter onto the bridge itself. What we really wanted to do was kind of make sure that the player views are good, the captain gets a great kind of view out the front, and make sure that navigating around that area, especially as kind of more and more kind of multi-crew gameplay systems come online, we want to make sure that there's enough space on that bridge to have not just the captain and the pilot, but a whole crew there.
Compared to the concept mesh, one not big change, but unresolved area was the hangar opening. It's quite a complex shape to open, so we spent a lot of time working on that, but that's all resolved. And then another thing we are looking at in the future is actually doing some more upgunning of the turrets. So it is not just a torpedo boat. It can sort of hold its own against other capital ships with its turrets. You'll see more.
Good. They are improving the firepower of this behemoth. And did you notice how big a ship it folds into its hangar? The Scorpius. That's pretty big.
That as we get closer to releasing it, which we are aiming for at IAE this year.
So, what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that the Drake Ironclad is the next cargo ship from Drake designed to fill that gap between the Caterpillar and the larger Hull series offerings. That working on it helps to flesh out resources needed to bring the long-awaited Kraken to life in the future, and that the Polaris is coming along pretty nicely, even if it's not Drake, which we didn't learn was the best because we all already knew that in our hearts.
But Disco says KDOT is the best.
And with that, this very long 17-episode season of Inside Star Citizen comes to a close. We said we'd go straight through until Alpha 323 was out, and we did that, and then some more. And it's time for our team to take a breather, catch up on some admin work, and begin working on the next great season of ISC that'll start up again on June 20th. So for Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for taking the time to let us share the process of game development with you each week, and we'll see you when we get back.
Boo! They're going on holiday! Boo! Boo, they're actually human. Hey, look, it's the amazing Pumpkin Man. That was funny. Poor Jared. Oh, that was great. Okay. Let's see. We're going to play live and up. There we go. All right. So, poor Jared got picoed. That's too funny. Jared got picoed. All right. Oh. Okay. And it's being difficult for some reason. All right. So and now it's not picking up my game capture, which is strange. Seriously? I want to do one more day, please. Come on. Okay. I don't know why my game is not working. It's like literally not. Seriously. Welp. She's not letting me. Well, this is annoying. Come on. It's not showing it, so I'm gonna have to restart the damn stream again. Come on here. It's so stupid. There. Tripped it up. There we go. Let's see if that worked it. Come on. Nope. Am I gonna seriously have to can my entire stream? Honestly? Really? Yeah. I'll be right back, chat. I'm having to reboot stream again. Good. I'm still alive. Kinda. Start computer. There we go. All right. I'm back. They literally had to restart the stream because it wasn't. Absolutely ridiculous. Hold on just a minute. Hallelujah. There we go. All right. Now, let's go check out the Anvil storefront, shall we? At Invictus. I wonder if they'll have a prototype of the big new shiny in 2 days. What do you guys think? Yay, nay, probably, maybe? Yes, I'm back somehow. I didn't crash or anything. Yeah, I'm hoping so. Thanks for sticking around, Brian. I was having some technical issues with my stream for some god-awful reason. That helps. Appreciate it, man. What armor is this?
City Flight asks that you be courteous to your fellow passengers. Keep conversations and moving glass.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much it'll be. I'm hoping not super expensive, but it is almost like a sub-capital in size. So it could be easily Caterpillar price or more. You know, $200-300 plus. I really think it'll be 4 or 5 because it's just so big. And the assault version will obviously be, well, even more.
Tram now approaching.
Right, here we go.
Their new life in the UEE Navy.
Nice.
Those with love. Of what they have to look forward to in naval service.
Navy forges on MacArthur. Recruits will push themselves to their physical and mental limits.
Okay, so day after tomorrow will be Ironclad Day, everyone. So hang on to your wallets. It's gonna be an expensive ride. I mean, if you're interested. There we go. I don't know why people call these days boring. I honestly call them interesting because when you think about it, this is like a museum. If they would have actual museums in game like this, I'd totally be behind, okay with it, you know? Right? I mean, I get it, but it's at the same time, it's kind of, why are you complaining? So, okay. Anvil is rather a small manufacturer compared to a lot of others. We just saw Paul Shelley do a video of it the other day. He did a really good video on it. I'd recommend anyone watch that on the history of Anvil Aerospace. Really good. So this is the upper level and well, okay. Here's the arrow. So many NPCs here. The Arrow's a good looking ship. Kind of reminds me of a stealth fighter, but it's not. It's fast, maneuverable, but very heavily armed. Here's the Pisces line. You have the medical Pisces right here. The C8 Expedition. There's also a C8X. Here's the inside of the standard Pisces. Can fit about 4 SCU of cargo in it, I believe. Yeah. And then the medical Pisces you can fit as a tier 3 bed, which I'm going to use right now to patch myself up. Watch the lower left. There we go. Oh, I guess you can't because of my indicator. So Brian, do you have an original original Hornet? Out of curiosity. Now, one ship that I'm curious about, will it get a Mark II, is this. The T8 Gladiator. This is the Anvil Gladiator. Now, it's a fighter bomber, but needs some help. Really bad. The largest ship in here, we're going to do all the small ships first, and then we're going to hit the Carrack in the middle. The next ship is this guy, which is the Hawk. It's a good looking ship. I've always liked the Hawk. Ah, okay. So you have a Zeus CL. Okay. Very good. Gotcha, Brian. Then we have the Anvil Terrapin, which I was hoping would get some damn paints this year, but it didn't. Yeah, here's the F7 Mark II. This is the F8C, which is the Lightning and next generation space superiority fighter. This way are the Anvil ships. Ooh. Look at all the military personnel around.
We look forward to our continued relationship with them and invite you to take a look at their work up close.
So over here, we have the Hornet F7A Mark II, Mark I. No, this is the Mark IIA. What is this? Oh yeah, this is the Mark IIA.
Ever since Anvil Aerospace emerged from the territory, pilots and politicians alike have cited
So this is the Mark IIA line. See, I own both these ships. Well, the one I have is the one on the left. Isn't it? Now, here's the thing. You can actually see the real difference between the Mark II and the Mark I. The Mark I is a much more blocky looking ship, older and more archaic. The Mark II is sleeker and a little more streamlined. I mean, look at this. From the front, they look very similar, but they have this is a much sharper design language to this. This is the first time I've seen them side by side, and I can already tell you, I actually prefer the Mark II look design language a lot better than the Mark I. I prefer it. Even though I have a Mark I for a collector CCU, yeah, it's just, yeah. So over here, what do we have?
While fighters like the
Well, that's really weird. They have the lightning here.
The truth is that with the
What's this about?
variations over the vast
Can you buy the lightning right now in the store?
variety of ships, including some models made for the private sector.
I don't think you can. Sorry, dude.
The UEE Navy's small but elite group of vehicle operators train for a variety of operations. But for their combat search and rescue training, they are
I'm kind of curious.
who are invited to train with the Marines on the hostile environments of Corin.
Let's have a look. So it's got good visibility for the most part. Up, side to side. Yeah.
Although Invictus is a celebration of the men and women who are about to ship off to begin their training, Launch Week not only provides an opportunity to celebrate our recent graduates, but also gives our active service members much needed preparation. Be sure to thank a starman today.
Yeah. Anvil's probably going to be a shorter day than Drake. I don't understand why Anvil has so few ships. It's kind of goofy. Then we have things like the Valkyrie. Ugh.
Welcome to the Invictus ship hall.
This is the Valkyrie.
This year's additions to the fleet. With the expanding nature
Hang on. Has this thing been redesigned?
each of these ships will help defend the Empire.
So, okay. Here's the drop seat level for the
Ever since Anvil Aerospace emerged from the terror
drop ship and the down turrets.
of their spacecraft,
Up top
hundreds of operations, from combat
is the
to logistics.
crew quarters and bathroom, I guess. And here's the quote-unquote bridge of the Valkyrie. Top gunner, side gunner, and yeah, these are gunners.
Though not
Top
nearly
turret.
as the
Yep.
UEE Army brethren order,
Very interesting.
maintains an active, versatile fleet of ground vehicles as well, whether for logistics, transport, or even exploration operations.
So, and then we have the Hurricane, which is 2-manner.
For those with loved ones setting off to
Oh.
begin their life in the Navy, stop by our
Yeah,
friends and family.
I almost thought about buying a Zeus CL, but I have so many other ships that it's not even funny and no contest, you know? I literally have too many other ships
But also gives our active service members much needed.
that are big, you know, and cargo ready. That Ironclad probably took the place of any would-be attempts at getting a Zeus CL. We're going to go in the interiors of 2 more ships. One of them is going to be the Terrapin, and the other is going to be the Carrack. The Terrapin first. Has a full interior. Here's the pilot seat and the scanner seat. Now for the larger ship, the Carrack. Hello there. The space turtle is a fun one, isn't it? How are you today? Yeah, the Carrack. What do you think, V-Sin? Are you a Star Citizen player yourself? Are you a player yourself, out of curiosity? Ah, good. Out of curiosity, what did you think personally, V, of the Drake Ironclad? I think it's interesting. It's not exactly what I was hoping Drake would come out with, but I kind of expected it. You know, kind of a in between the Kraken and Corsair, if that makes sense. Yeah, and that's the thing. The Terrapin is going to kill it in Pyro. Yeah, I think the Terrapin, a lot of people are misunderstanding. It's going to be very useful in Pyro. Pair it with the Polaris, it's going to be a good combo. I'm sure V-Sin agrees with that assessment, Brian. So this is the lower bottom deck of the Carrack. These are supposed to be modular. Yeah, the Terrapin's made to take abuse. Absolutely. Right now, my streams are kind of boring right now, V. I'm basically covering Invictus, which is kind of, you know, low tier. But I do typically do salvage and some exploration, and also, you know, the occasional combat stuff with my crew, you know? So, yeah, I was just making sure you're not bored, you know? Here's the, can I remember? It is. By the way, is this the bottom turret for the Carrack? I think it is, yeah. Salvage, I think, is going to be a lot more important than people think. It's going to really, really help you make money, you know? A lot of people don't realize money is going to be important in the verse. Very important. Is there no elevator? Uh-oh. I walked into a dead elevator. Womp womp. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let me out. Help. Thank you. Yeah. Uh-oh. This is not good. Oh, you sold it for scrap. That's funny. How do I get out of here? Help! Somebody open the door. Well, that was a stupid idea. Did it just, like, not load or something? Yeah, it didn't. Look at this. The entire elevator did not load. Wow. Look at this. Look below me. The elevator didn't load correctly. That's insanity. I'm gonna warn some people. This is bad. Wow, that's just, yeah. Oh my. Wow. Well, that was interesting. Me about 5 years. About 5 years, be since about 3.8. I remember when the verse only had. I remember when the verse only had maybe 2 planets you could land on, and an asteroid and the moons. See, that's the thing. The Perseus, a lot of people, I love the Perseus. Oh, shoot. The Perseus is one of those things. See, the Perseus is meant to punch up. It's meant to be a crewed ship. What do you think? Do you think, do you have friends to play with, like 4 or 5 people? The Perseus is meant to be a crewed vessel, you know? Like, you can run it with like 3 or 4 people, you piloting, a couple of people on the big guns. You get what I'm saying, right? The F8 is, you can, yeah, AI crew is definitely going to be a thing. But I'm just saying, minimum crew, you're still going to probably need some sort of actual teams, you know? We'll see. I mean, I'm hoping AI crew is sooner rather than later, but they haven't said a lot about AI crew in a while, which is why I'm nervous about it, you know? I'm nervous about them not saying anything about AI crew or anything. Like, take, for example, the Ironclad, okay? The Ironclad is a 6-person ship, right? Well, what if you can't play? What if you can't get 6 people? Is it just going to be a big lead weight? You know? I'm just saying. By the way, I'm not the only person getting stuck. Did you guys see the dude in the terrapin? It's kind of sad. Yeah. They did work on AI for a long time. I'm hoping it gets better eventually, you know? Because, man... Yeah, hopefully without the riffraff that runs around causing trouble. You know what I mean? By that? The guys that are just in it cause trouble. I mean, I get being a pirate, but when you're trying to get stuff, yeah, no problem. Hey, Zaris, what's up, man? Chat is jumping today, yeah. Clearly. There's a name I haven't seen in a while. How you been? Yeah, and I agree with you too. It's when they can pump out new ships. Hold on just a second. Yeah, and I agree with you. It's definitely like that. I mean, oops. Oops. Is somebody looking at me? Hold on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I deleted that one for certain reasons, because I was... Oh, yeah. You know why, too, don't you, Zaris? I had to delete that stream, sadly, because it revealed some PI, personal information. So, yeah. You understand. I would have liked to have kept it up, but yeah. Unfortunately, people's safety is better than non-safety. So yeah, I mean, apart from running scared like a chicken from tornadoes, I've been doing this. Or trying to. Whoa! What in the blue thunder is this? Hey chat, look at this. This elevator is completely broken. Look at this. Whoa, no. What in the blue thundery heck? Yeah. Ironclad honestly looks cool, Brian. Is there any other way up the ship? I don't think you can get up the ship anywhere else, can you? No? Can't even get on the bridge of the Carrack from here. Go into the cargo bays, but not up, which is dumb. Oh well. By the way, what do you guys think about the drama over in Leaks? I think that should have been handled behind closed doors, but that's just me, If you're gonna have drama about a publicly related game, whether you're a leaker or not, do it behind closed doors. You know what I mean? That was not handled great by either party. Just saying. Yeah. I will admit that about Drake. That Drake ship looked really great. It also looks very industrial. Like you could pick up a stranded ship if you're a non-pirate and haul it to a dry dock, right? Does that make sense, Brian? Really, really nice. Now, did you guys actually happen to catch the mention of, since some of you guys weren't, hey, I understand, Zerus, it's kind of a thing. Hey, do you have an original Mark 1 Hornet? They're discontinuing the Mark 1 Hornet. Me and Brian were talking about it earlier. They're discontinuing the Mark 1 Hornet after this Invictus. All variants. Every one of them. So, yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, why are we doing this? I mean, it's an old ship, but it's a popular ship, so I think it came down to marketing, maybe. Because if you go over here to the hall where the Hornets are, they're all Mark II variants. And I cannot believe we run so slow. How long have you been out, Zaris? About 6 months? 8 months? I can't remember. You've been away from the game for a good while. I know it's been a while. Yeah, they're pretty much they're pretty much retiring the old Hornet. This old girl is getting retired. The Mark I. And I will admit, the Mark II is a better looking ship. A lot. But what does this mean? This is kind of echoing what I think. The F-7A Hornet is currently not available for consumer test flights. It's kind of funny. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Oh, wait, I still haven't gone below the area for... Yeah, I've been doing that too. Last night I played another Metroid 2 remake to kind of cool off after Invictus from 2 days ago, you know? Just to give me something extra to do. I'm going to start throwing in other things to stream, you know? That way I don't get the burnout as bad. Believe it or not, early last year, I had to take a 2-month break from streaming, and that was a really dumb idea. Did you hear 4.0? Yeah, World of Warcraft's. Yeah. Did you hear about 4.0? 4.0 is almost certainly the immediate next patch after 323.2, which will be the final 3.0 patch. 4.0 will be the new beginning of a new era. Are you excited, Zaris? We get to say goodbye to 3.0 finally and say hello to 4.0. So what ship is this? Okay, this is the Ballista, right? Yeah, this is the Anvil Ballista. Every pilot knows this ship really, really well. This guy is the bane of anybody coming in to a area to land. All these missiles, the turrets, pack a few of these into an area and you can lock it down. Maybe a few hundred, I would say. Not hundreds and hundreds, you know. I could see a few hundred people, not thousands, you know. They did a static server test up to, I believe, 800, and then it started to get kind of cruddy. So we'll see. I do have some faith, though, since they've already tested it, you know. That was a public test, too. I wish I'd gotten to test it. The game just froze on. Okay, there it is. This is the Centurion, the all-gun version. Basically a hammerhead on wheels. It's pretty deadly if you're up close to it. 4, I believe, size 4 repeaters on a turret. And then we have the Anvil Spark, which is a troop transport. So after that, wow. Yeah, it's kind of glitchy today, mainly because I'm here in the Expo Center. Yeah, we might have several hundred. I think Nyx is also not far along behind Pyro, honestly. That's what we keep hearing. Here's the old Crucible, which I think will be pretty soon. Yeah, 800 players will still not feel like a lot, but it'll be a lot more crowded and settled areas. You know, 800 to 1200, 1600 people. That's still a lot of players compared to what we have now. This guy is almost flyable. The Legionnaire. Yeah, that test was awesome. It's probably the best thing to happen to the game in a long, long time. I want this ship to be ready soon too. The Drake, okay, here's something people haven't discussed. That Drake Ironclad, which is like a small mini carrier, this right here is of similar size and shape. Remember? So that could affect the design language of the Anvil Liberator, this ship. Is it the Liberator? Yeah. We'll see. I'm hoping it will. I'm hoping it'll produce that ship because I own one. So yeah, I mean, 4.0 is going to be interesting. Next week, don't forget, would be the next crazy, what do you call it? Roadmap Roundup. We had one last week. In 6 days will be the next Roadmap Roundup. Don't forget that, chat. The next 6 days. Today is Thursday. We will have roadmap roundup tomorrow. Sorry. I will also be streaming SCL tomorrow. Hopefully they have question and answer session tomorrow, because they didn't do it last time. On a personal note, Zaris, I've actually had some pretty bad weather in my area. So my streams have been kind of soothing for my own personal health, you know? Yeah. Here in Oklahoma, we've had a rough go. It's not been fun, at least for us. I hope everyone in the U.S. stays safe this time of year. Yeah, it is. It's tornado country, all right. Yeah, it is. I just kicked my butt. Oh man, they fixed the bug. I was hoping they hadn't fixed the bug. You know, where you can split drinks in half and...
Trap now approaching.
Yeah, it is tornado country, unfortunately. Here in a bit, I'm going to have to double check what the weather's going to do today. I have no idea. Mainly because, you know... Sorry, I'm double checking stuff. Okay. I think we're good for a little bit, but here about probably
Now arriving.
luckily we got just 1.5 more days for
Transit now approaching.
this, so before I mention it, Zaris, since you haven't been around for a while, yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on. A lot of changes. The flight models changed. A lot of shit has really, really changed. The flight model in general has dramatically changed. I mean, from what it was, it's just, yeah. You're preaching to the choir, man. Oh my god. It's so funny. Hold on. They need to add trash tractor beams so it's easier to clean up stations. You know, I completely agree, Zaris. I completely agree. Honestly, that's what made that whole joke about the trash cleaner thingy, you know, for I'm just gonna outright say it, the what is it, the Raptor? That's kind of what made me a little angry. Well, spitefully angry a little bit. Because I actually wanted the damn thing. So badly. I mean, a street sweeper in Star Citizen, it's so comical, but it's also like, why not? You know? It looks so funny, and it's, yeah, I would have so bought a Raptor, yes. Brian, yes, exactly. Yeah, it's a pain to pick up manually and stuff. It's goofy. I agree. It is. So, yeah, it's... Yeah, my auto mod's kind of goofy. Sorry about that, Z. It's just... My stupid, it's dumb. You know, it is dumb. Nothing against you. It's just, you know, apparently, my message thing gets butthurt. It is pretty funny. I actually, that's my reasoning. I want them to explain to me with, you know, upcoming patches what's going on, you know? Like, oh yeah, you haven't seen the new interface to buy shit, Zaris. Hold on, let me show you. You actually, do you notice the mini map at the top left? That's all new. Watch this. This is our new Moby Glass. Health, home, comms, Contracts. Maps. Here's the maps one. Now note, this is Area 18. So we're going to zoom out.
Make your hangar your own. Abernathy interiors. Individual style for impeccable taste. Offering the widest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles, Astro Armada. Only
Yeah, I do too. So badly. Here's all the planets currently.
make your hangar your own. Abernathy
Okay, journal,
style for impeccable taste.
assets, reputation.
At light on unexpected turns, the legal experts at Barclays Estates can help. Barclays Estates, counsel you can trust. With the hottest looks and the hottest prices, Casaba's got you covered. Casaba Outfit, what you want, you wear.
Yeah, it's just crazy how much they have literally changed the game. You know, it's just insanity to me. Oh, and the best part of it is gosh, what am I trying to say? This one. The retail places. So where we're gonna go is a gun store or Casabra or something. Where's the gun store? Now watch. See? It gives you prices now through your islands. Some of them aren't all marked yet, but yeah. That's just an example, though. There's so many other things. I'm just showing you the bare minimum, man. It's just funny. Another thing on the Moby that I didn't mention is look here. Radiation, REM. This implies we're going to have radiation problems somewhere. A place with high radiation issues. Sounds fun, doesn't it? So, yeah. There is a lot of quick interaction still missing. Yeah. It's still a work in progress, but it still looks infinitely better than what we've had for years. You know, the original The original stuff that we had for years and years and years, I honestly don't want to go back. You know? Just my thoughts. Fire is fixing to be added very, very soon. Yeah. Yeah. Fire is close. My spirit is missing the close, quick interaction. Someone's opening the components next to the button. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. I get that, Brian. Yeah. Makes sense, though. Fire and systems break. Yeah, they already have what do you call them? Flares, or not flares, but shoot. Yeah. Just a second. They already have fuses in game. Have you not seen the fuse system on ships? Certain ships already have their fuses and stuff, Zaris. You know, where you can shut down parts of the ship? I think the Retaliator honestly has fuses already. So yeah, it's getting pretty interesting. Star Citizen has definitely come a long way from where it was probably even 5 years ago when I started playing. Still got a long way to go, but yeah. Anything else you want to look at, Zaris, or anyone else in chat? Because I'm all ears. Have you seen the distribution centers or anything yet? Out of curiosity? Yeah, that's next on the list, I believe, Brian. Yeah. It definitely is. Oh, really? It won't be too long? Hey, that's a good thing, though. That means you'll have a co-pilot, right? Means you'll have a co-pilot that can help you out. All right. So, if you haven't seen a distribution center, they're enormous. There's not a lot going on with an ATM, but that's probably going to change really, really soon. There aren't any on this planet. Oh, we also have wildlife, Zaris. We also have animals and birds in game now. If you didn't know that. The Copian and the Mara are first animal life in the game. They beat out the Quasi-Grazer and the Oni Crab. Amazing. It's simply amazing that we actually have bioforms in game. Okay, this is definitely a wardrobe malfunction. Yeah, the new quantum system's definitely taking a lot to learn. I mean, you have seen the dog things and birds? Okay. Yeah, but a lot of people don't understand that it's, you know, it's still relatively new and, you know, it's... Honestly, they represent a big change, Zaris. A very big change in how the game developed. You know, they're a big change from, you know, we are just beginning development of the game and, you know, right? I haven't ate lunch today, so I'm gonna double check something real quick. I'm not leaving, I'm just, you know, double checking something. Where's my space whales? Hey, soon, Tim. They actually said the cow, the quasi grazer, they're next. The quasi, the grazer thingy, you know, he's next. That's what they basically said. Quasi grazer, he's the next aminal. Yeah. Which, that was actually promised a long time ago. I do want the storm walls too. So, let me see. Okay, so this isn't what I want. What did I do? What did I want? So since you've been gone, roadmap wise, oh yeah, they are bringing back the roadmap roundup or the progress tracker, just so you know. So since you've been gone, they've you haven't been around since, I believe, when did you take a break? Would have been in September since I last saw you, basically. Look at all this stuff they added. This is still a work in progress, but yeah. It's been a while, Zaris. It really has. You know? Yeah. So you played a little bit during November of last year. So you've been around, you were about here, somewhere between here and here. So they've added the player hair update, the new derelict settlements, structural salvage, cargo containers, all this stuff, basically. Ships like the Santakyai, the X-1s, and the F-7 Mark II. They're adding all this stuff in. Yeah, it's been an interesting year, I'll put it that way. Yeah. Definitely. Mm. Okay. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Pretty much been absent since January or February. Hey, that's okay. Stuff happens. We all have real life, and stuff. I had to take a break due to 3.18. It was going crazy. 318 was early last year. And honestly, yeah, March of last year. I took a 6-month break. When I came back, the game was a lot better condition than it is now. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Low sodium might. Wow. Low sodium. Maybe he might. Yeah, cars do that, man. Hey, you got to get around and travel. For me, unfortunately, I've had issues here. Yesterday, I just had a neighbor pass away a couple of days ago. I noticed a lot of people, around her house, people I didn't recognize, turned out to be her family. She had all of a sudden passed away over the weekend, and it was, earlier in the week. Had no idea about it. I literally spoke to her probably 2 or 3 days before she passed away. And I'm like, oh my, it just hits you when you lose people. She's a good lady. I mean, not perfect, but she's a good lady. Feel bad I didn't get to know her a little better, but yeah, it's just. Huh. Yeah, it can be a lot rough to lose people. A lot of people don't understand why I won't work with the elderly. That's why, because I had an older personal story. I had a grandmother going through dementia and stuff, a little bit about me, and it was really hard on us when she started getting into the area of, the downward spiral. It's really sad. Sorry to get all gushy, folks. It's just, it's difficult when you lose somebody you love and care for. But yeah, I mean, it can be painful. It can. People call you weak for crying, for being, human, I guess would be the word. But Yeah, keep your family close, Zaris. That's exactly right. I mean, love them while you have them because they will be your firmest supporters and your biggest allies when you need help. Absolutely. I totally agree with your sentiment because, yeah, definitely. Never forget that kindness they share with you. Yeah, that's the thing though. People confuse feelings and emotions for toxic masculinity, which is wrong. There's a big difference to wearing your heart on your sleeve to toxic masculinity. Big difference. A lot of people confuse the two. I'm doing good today. Hmm. Yeah. Anyways, before I sorry. Um, there's been a lot of changes since the last roadmap update months ago, and yeah, it's just yeah. I'm rather pleased with the direction of the game going on. I kind of wanted to acknowledge, something that's going on, maybe in passing, but not a direct mention, because I don't know how many people actually follow, leaks or whatever. But please don't mention the stuff that was mentioned yesterday on leaks here. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm also trying to say, you know, we don't want to get struck by CIG, right? You know, CIG is, there's been some stuff talked about in the leak server that I don't want to talk about, and until I get confirmation of it and it'll be posted here or here, I'm not going to talk about it. To be polite about it. I mean, I'm not trying to lay down ground rules that are angry pasta, but well, I mean, I just don't want Xylo and the others to come into chat and be like, the red button of doom, Brian. You know what I mean? The button of doom. Yeah. That would be detrimental to what I'm trying to do. I'd rather cover them in a semi-official capacity. As much as I'd like to play, yeah, no problem, bud. I am actually probably here in about a few minutes. fixing to get off here. Need to find somebody to raid though. So let's see. Raid. Let's see. Hang on. See if I have anybody I know that I could raid. Friend. Great. Raid Tom Beckhauser. So I'm gonna get off here for now, but I'll be back on later, maybe tonight. And I hope everyone has a great day. Everyone, peace. You have a great day too, Brian. See you later.